some drive. Decide that you're going to push yourself. The last chapter to your life has not been written yet. It doesn't matter about what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it? This year I will make this goal become a reality. I won't talk about it anymore. I can. I can. I can. To persevere, I think it's important for everybody. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything.
Yes. Good morning, iinspire Miracle Morning Challengers. Make some noise.
Yay! Morning.
Morning.
We're excited to be here. I want to see you set yourself in state.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes. Welcome to our second and incredible iinspire Miracle Morning Challenge.
Woo!
Woo! Wow, you guys have made it this far, and it's absolutely freaking amazing. I acknowledge you all for being here. You're setting aside the time to hop on this call. I know you had so many things you could do, but you're so dedicated and so amazing that you didn't take it any other way. You decided you're going to be here and make it out here today. So first of all, warm welcome to all you guys.
Yay.
Ow.
Yes. Let's do a quick welcome to everybody. I'm going to read out your names in a row, and let's cheer for each other, okay? Let's cheer for Al, for Amy, for Andrea, for Lisa, Miller, Kelly, Garcia, I guess.
Yay.
Jeffrey, Emily, Heather, Jackie, Karen, Kelly, Kimber, Lisa, Maureen,
Good morning.
Del, Millie, Pamela, Sarah, Joey. Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
We've also got Total Badass, not telling who that is. And we've got 3 callers on the phone here. So if you're on the phone, I want you guys to unmute yourself and say hello real quick. Who's on the phone wants to say hello that ends with 9890? 9890, you with us?
Probably muted.
Oh, sorry, you guys are muted. Wait, let me unmute the phone people. Sorry, guys, sorry. Okay, trapped you there. Phone people, want to say hi, 9890?
Hi, it's me and Brianna. I'm at work.
Hey.
Hey, it's Brianna, guys. Give it up for Brianna. All right, who else do we have on the phone that ends with 1613?
Tell me what the phone is.
Hey, Yahli, it's Becky.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Becky.
I'm on audio and video. I'm on audio on my phone.
I love it. And we've got 5096.
Good morning, Yahli. This is Lizette calling.
It's good morning.
Hey.
All right, you guys, good, happy morning to you. Let's go over some quick adjustments here, and we'll jump right into it super quick today because we've got a lot to do on one call, so let's be effective together here. Okay, if you're using Zoom for the first time, first of all, remember our ground rules. Same thing as the morning call ground rules. Number one is mute yourself if needed, so play around with it. Even if you guys are moving your notebook or typing to each other, we can hear that, so just notice the mute button when you need. And, you know, focus, make the best of this call, and that also means participate, make this call yours, ask the questions you want to ask. They're valuable to all of us. And lastly, have fun and celebrate, especially if you were on today's iinspire morning call, you know, not to take life too seriously, but to really have fun with everything we do. It's so super important, isn't it, guys? I know it is. So if you're using Zoom for the first time, you're on the computer, you could toggle between speaker view and gallery view on the top right-hand side. I really recommend toggling to gallery view if you're using a computer, by the way. You can't do this any other way. So do that for a moment so we can see everybody like the Brady Bunch, and just say hello real quick to all the people here.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Maureen. Hi.
All right, cool. So all these people here on the call are your accountability buddies and your mastermind groups, and I'm so excited to have you all here together. Again, more things about Zoom real quick. There's a chat there. If you need to say anything to each other, either privately or not, you can say it over there. For the Q&A, we're going to get some help from the chat box, okay? If you don't get a chance to speak out loud, you can write in the chat box and see if Hal can answer your questions there. And I guess that's it. The rest of the stuff you should know from the last call that we had here. So let's jump into some updates. First of all, switch your bodies. You guys ready for it?
Yes.
All right. So today we have some updates real quick, and then we're going to present someone very special. So most of the updates you're going to get by email after this call, and the updates is number one, and don't do this now. I warn you, don't do this now. Number one, everyone who asked for an accountability buddy has an accountability buddy. Are you excited about that? So hop on after this call to the same form you used to register, and now it's updated, and you'll see on the right to your name the name of your accountability partner. So that's going to be someone who's going to really be effective and awesome for you, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. And we've got accountability partners. We've got some other cool stuff that we're going to do. Like, we're going to make our own affirmations this week so that they're ours and connect to our goals and our dreams and our future and what we're committed to. How do you guys feel about that?
Excellent.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
I knew you loved it, but you know what I think you'll love even more than all of that? I think you'll love our incredible guest today. He's not even a guest. He pretty much owns this challenge, and we're going to welcome him here like we should. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've been waiting for this. I am so super excited. I can't wait any longer. Unmute your phone for this one. It's the one and only Hal!
Hey, baby! Can you hear me? Can you hear me on here?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. I like, Yahli, you do things like nobody else does things, like in the way that everyone should do things. Like, everyone's moving their body, they're acknowledging each other. Like, it's amazing. So I love this. And talk about like-minded people. You know, I love the Brady Bunch view, like seeing how many of you are here. This is really, really cool. So Yahli, because she loves and cares about all of us, she gave me some specific instructions on what she thought would be the most valuable to cover today. Yahli, confirm with me, how much time do you want me to have in terms of kind of sharing before we open up for Q&A, just so I'm clear?
I guess we could do about 15 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. I'm long-winded, so I'll get the first half of the first point out by then. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so all of you, or most of you, are in on, I think, day 13 of the challenge, which means you're past the 10-day unbearable mark. So I want to address if where you're at right now. If you remember the call that we had that I was on a while back, where we talked about there were 3 10-day phases when you're trying to change behavior, implement a new habit, right? There was the first 10 days are unbearable. Then the second 10 days are uncomfortable. And then the third 10 days, you become unstoppable. And just for a quick refresher on what that was about, it's like the first 10 days, our mind and our body were typically addicted at some level. The word addicted is a loaded word, but we're addicted to our old behavior, right? And, whether it's a bad behavior like, smoking a cigarette or something where we're wanting to change that behavior, but we've got this mental, physical, and emotional addiction to the behavior. And some behaviors are the addiction's more physical, some it's more mental, some it's more emotional. Usually it's a little bit of each one. And I don't think there's that much value in figuring out like, what percentage of it's physical, what percentage of it's mental, and that to me is a big difference between coaching and therapy. Therapy is like, let's just go into your past and spend all the time in your past. And for me, I'm like, there's value in that, but I think it's more valuable to invest that energy rather than dissecting and understanding the past. Let's just figure out where you're at now in the present and where you want to go and what's the fastest, most effective way to get you from here to there, period. We could spend years figuring out what happened in your childhood that made you this way. And I'm not discounting that. Like I said, there's value in it, but it's not my expertise. My expertise is where are you? Where do you want to go? Let's get there now as fast as we can. So the fact that you're through those first 10 days, you're in probably either one of 2 or 3 camps. Number one, you're crushing it. You're over the hump. You're through the most difficult part. And now it's starting to, maybe it's still a little uncomfortable, but it's not unbearable anymore. And you're starting to be like, you're hitting a little bit of a stride, right? That's some of you, that's where you're at. Some of you though, you might have done good the first day or the second day, and then maybe you haven't made it through the unbearable phase. Like you've fallen off a little bit. And that's okay. That's very common with all of us. There's a lot of things that goals I've tried to achieve where I failed for days, weeks, months, years until I finally got committed. And it's once we commit that anything's possible, right? There's always a way when we're committed. And that's always like, if you're making anything black and white, it's our level of commitment. Like you're either committed to something, which means no matter what. Like that to me is commitment is no matter what. No matter what, I will do it, even if I don't feel like it, even if it's not easy, even if it's unbearable, I'm committed. And there's always a way when you're committed. But if you're not fully committed, then you're leaving it up to your emotions, you're leaving it up to your mood, you're leaving it up to distractions outside, right? Like there's all sorts of other things. And that's where it really becomes black and white. Like either you're committed or you're not. And when you're not, you may have some success, you might not, right? It's really kind of up in the air. You're leaving it up to chance, whereas this is about your resolve. Your commitment is about I'm going to find a way no matter what. So if you haven't had the success you've wanted so far, you might have a story around why that is, right? Well, I tried, but I've got kids, or this happened, or I'm just not a morning person. I tried, and someone told me that's okay because we're all different, and whatever your story is, versus what, I'm committed. And I always use an extreme example, and I got this from I think the book Following Through by I can't remember, but and it was the idea that if someone had a gun to your head and they said, if you eat that brownie and you're on a diet and you haven't been sticking to your diet, if you eat that brownie, I will shoot you, right? It's an extreme example, but I bet you'd have enough willpower to not eat the brownie if there was a gun pointed at you, right? Like a sniper at all times. You'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to eat the brownie. Like I really want it, but I'm not going to eat it. And what that shows is that there's always a way if you're committed. You're committed to not eat the brownie because the consequences is so great, right? And that comes down to something we've got to decide. So I don't mean to, I'll jump off my soapbox here, but just realize that being committed is something that you've got to decide. And when you decide you're committed, no matter what, you find a way. And if you don't feel like it, you just do the thing that you're committed to, even though you don't feel like it. And then all of a sudden, once you do it, the feelings that you need kind of come up behind you and carry you forward. In fact, there's a great philosophy from, I think it was John Maxwell in the book Failing Forward. he talks about feeling your way into action versus acting your way into feeling. Most of us want to feel our way into action. Well, why don't we do things that we wanted to do? Because we didn't feel like it. You know, I wanted to, but I didn't feel like it. Or I wanted to refrain from that, but I really felt like eating it or doing it or whatever. The alarm went off. I wanted to get up, but I just didn't feel like getting up, right? And John Maxwell talks about that in order to be successful, you can't wait to feel your way into action. You have to act your way into feeling. It's once, like, if you know that you want to get in shape and go to the gym, but you get up and you go, I don't feel like going to the gym. Who cares? Grab your keys, grab your gym bag, walk into the car and start it, even though you don't feel like it, and then drive to the gym. And guess what's going to happen? Like 99 out of 100 times, you're going to go work out, right? Not because you felt like it, but because you took that initial action of getting in the car with your gym bag. And that once you take that first baby step forward, it's easy to take the next step, and then as the steps even get bigger, it's easier to take them. It's simply taking that initial action to act your way into the feeling. And when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, right, it's getting up and walking over to the counter and brushing your teeth and then leaving the bedroom. And if you need to do 100 jumping jacks, I did this morning. I woke up and I was just tired. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like getting up. So I did 100 jumping jacks. And I'm going to give you a bonus lesson that I've never taught anyone, because I just started doing this like 2 weeks ago, and it's been amazing. So I was staying at a hotel, and there was a big mirror, and I was doing jumping jacks in front of it, and I was like, I'm gonna smile and do the jumping jacks. You know, so I'm doing the jumping jacks with just a big stupid grin on my face, and I'm releasing endorphins, and I'm like, this is great. I did that for like a week, and then I was like, wait a minute, what if I took it a step further? What if I laughed hysterically for the entire 100 jumping jacks? And so I just started doing it, and I was like, and I just laughed for the whole 100 jumping jacks, like just kept laughing. And it was amazing. So that's like my new daily exercise routine. Every morning, I do 100 jumping jacks, laughing as hysterically as I can. And Yahli, I'm thinking of doing this at the event on June 21st. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lead the entire audience in laughing jumping jacks. So
I love it.
So if you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like getting up, do 100 laughing jumping jacks in your bathroom in front of the mirror, and you act your way into feeling. So that's that. Let's see, how are we doing on time?
Who's up for it, by the way? Who's up for laughing jumping jacks in the morning? And I'm going to challenge you guys. I want a video of it on our group. What do you guys think? You up for it?
I'm actually realizing that I need to make a video.
Yeah.
All right. I'm writing a note. Record video. I'm going to see if I could. I've never had a real viral YouTube video. I'm going to see if I record a video of laughing jumping jacks, if it could go viral on YouTube.
I love it. It started here. It started here.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here.
All right.
You can put as seen on iinspire.
I'll give you a little, I'll hook it up. I'll give you a little credit. All right, get viral on YouTube. Okay. All right. So with that said, so if you're not keeping up, recommit and do laughing jumping jacks. There you go, right? But just realize that the past doesn't equal the future. And often we do that. We're like, oh, the first 10 days, I just reinforced that I'm not able to get up in the morning, or I'm not, or whatever. Like, no, that's not true. It doesn't matter what's happened up until this point in our lives. You can't change it. You can't change a second of what's behind you. But the good news is you can make a new decision today. You can make a new commitment this moment, and you can change everything else. And that's true every day of our lives.
And I want to, by the way, emphasize on that, because we've had some people post on the group today, which, by the way, I acknowledge you guys for tremendously. Post that they're a little bit behind or haven't been catching up with the stuff and the materials and all of that stuff. First of all, awesome job for posting about that and asking for help and wanting to pair up and do that. But this is your opportunity to start today, right? And not go into all of the meanings that you give it. Just start now. Start now. Make it better than you would have if you started on time, right?
Yep. No, I completely agree. All I want to take a minute to touch. There's two more things I'm going to cover on today's call. Number one is accountability. Now that you have accountability partners, I want to talk to you about how to make that effective and the power of accountability. And then I want to talk to you, give you my tips on creating your own affirmations, since that's what you're going to do this week. And you can take what Yahli teaches you with what I teach you, and combine the best of the both, best of the best. As far as accountability goes, accountability, I want to share with you that. So I figured out in my own mind quite a few years ago that accountability is arguably, it's one of the most important tools or resources for us to take our success to the next level. And if you look at accountability, most people resist it. And I'm going to share with you why it can be really helpful. Here's an area where I'm going to go into therapist mode, and we're going to dive back into our past for just a couple of minutes here, because this is really powerful to understand. Accountability, think about this. Most of us resist it. Most of us are like, I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. I don't want anybody to hold me accountable. And by the way, that's not what accountability is. It's not someone telling you what to do. It's you telling someone what you need to be held accountable to. But the reason that we resist it, this is my theory, is accountability. If you think about your childhood, accountability was forced upon us growing up by all of the adults in our lives, right? And we didn't ask for it. It wasn't like hey, hold me accountable. It was, hey, Junior, you need to eat your vegetables, and you need to go to bed on time, and you need to bathe, and then when you're in school, you need to do your homework, and you got to study for this test. And you didn't ask for any of it, so you resist all of it. I don't want to eat my vegetables. I don't want to take a bath. I don't want to go to bed on time. I don't want to do my homework, right? And you think about it, we develop this resistance and this resentment to being held accountable as small children when our brains are forming, right? And then we go to college, and as soon as we have freedom, it's like we eat like crap. We may or may not bathe. It depends on your dating situation, I guess. Right. But we basically sleep in usually as long as we possibly can. So, and we don't realize that the only reason that we as kids got any positive results in our lives is because of the accountability that was present for us. Right? If it wasn't for accountability, we would have been malnutritioned, sleep deprived, uneducated, dirty little kids. But we don't think of it that way. So we get out of the house and we're like, no accountability. And so I'm here to share with you that, and many of you are like, you're already on this path. So I just want to add to any distinctions that can help reinforce your decision to have an accountability partner, and also in the future, which is that we have to grow up. Like if we want to, we almost have to regress to advance, right? We've got to go back to the accountability that got us results as kids, but now as adults, we have to invite it into our lives. We have to embrace it, not resist it, but embrace it. And the more accountability that we have in our lives, typically the better the results are that we generate. You look at the average CEO, maybe they're not successful. They wouldn't be on their own, but they've got so much accountability. They've got to answer to their executive board, and they've got to answer to the shareholders, and they've got to answer to their colleagues and their peers and their secretary and all of these people. If it wasn't for that, they'd probably be surfing the internet a lot more, playing games. They're like, crap, I've got a board meeting. Shoot, I've got to get this report to my secretary. Oh man, I've got to get my shareholders there, right? All of the above. So accountability is crucial to taking your success to the next level, because other people will almost always hold us to higher standards if we empower them to do so than we'll hold ourselves to. And the last thing I'll say on this is I picture it like the cartoon. Remember the cartoon with the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder? And the devil is always my voice of mediocrity. It's always when I'm faced with I don't really feel like, I don't really feel, do you feel like it? No. Yeah, I don't feel like it either. And then if this is my accountability buddy or my coach or someone I've given my word to, and I go, oh, damn it. It doesn't matter if I feel like it. I actually have to do it because I gave my word to someone. And then this goes away and this becomes my driving force. And I know I said that was the last thing I'll say, but I'll say one last thing on top of the last thing. And that is that average people, this is worth writing down. This is a quotable, if you will. Average people let their feelings dictate their actions, but achievers let their commitments dictate their actions. I'll say that again. Average people let their feelings, their emotions, their moods dictate their actions, but achievers let their commitments dictate their actions. And then the last thing I'll say before we open it up for Q&A is when it comes to affirmations, and I might have touched on this on our last call, but I think repetition is important. So the way that affirmations have been taught by many of the people that probably many of us look up to and admire, you know, Jack Canfield and just other self-help gurus, people that I've learned a lot from and I still learn a lot from, I admire, but I've heard specifically affirmations taught in a way that I don't believe, and people have told me it's not optimally effective. It's this lying to yourself strategy or philosophy of affirmations. If you want to be something you're not, just put I am in front of it. I am are the two most powerful words in the English language. And you just put you want to be a millionaire, say I am a millionaire, and just say it over and over and over until you believe it, and then you become it. And that there may be some truth to that, and you may be able to trick yourself if you do it long enough, but I believe there's a better way. So I'm not saying that can't work, but I'm saying I believe there's a better way. If you say I am a blank and the blank is not true, meaning it's not true today, if you say I am a millionaire and you're not even a thousandaire, right? Then your subconscious is going to be like, you're lying. No, you're not. So you're fighting reality, saying I am blank when you're not yet blank. However, I still believe I am are very powerful words, but when they're followed by committed to. I am committed to becoming a millionaire, right? That's very different because that's not a lie. You're not saying you are a millionaire. You're saying I'm committed. And I'm using millionaire, this is, arbitrary. You can fill it in with whatever your objectives are in life, personally or professionally. I am committed to running a marathon, not I am a marathon runner. If you've never run a marathon, technically you're not a marathon runner. But you could be committed to becoming a marathon runner. And then most importantly, once you say I am committed to becoming a blank or achieving a blank, you follow it up with the how and the when and the why. Sorry, the why, the how, and the when. So you go, step one, I'm committed to blank. That's the what. Then the why, because it's going to allow me to support my family or allow me to have more energy or allow me to have a better quality of life or allow me to change the world or whatever. So the what, the why, and then the how. So to do that, like I'm committed to becoming a millionaire because it'll help me support my family so I will. What's your thing? So for me, when I was in sales, in my affirmations, I said, I will make 20 prospecting calls a day, 5 to 6 days a week, no matter what, right? I was committed. And then I followed it up with the win. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday and Saturday if needed. So that's an affirmation. It's what I'm committed to, why I'm committed to it, how I'm going to ensure that I generate that result, and when specifically I will take the action that I'm going to take that will virtually ensure that I eventually get there. And now that's an affirmation that's not rooted in fantasy or a lie. It's rooted in reality, but it's also designed to get you in the beliefs and the mindset and the actions you need to take to generate that affirmation and make it your life, your reality. So that's all I got for you. I am, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you want. So Yahli, if you want to facilitate that process, I am ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you. First of all, let's give it up for Hal for all this incredible information and inspiration, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
So Hal, you rock. I may add one or two things. I love all your points. And first of all, I want you guys to know that regarding accountability buddies, like I said, after this call, just hop on the form. I'll have the link for you in the next email as well, in case you forgot, can't find it or whatnot. And you'll have your accountability partner there. Regarding accountability buddies, I love what you said, Hal. I love all the points that you made. I would even add to that an accountability buddy, it's not an extra responsibility. It's that thing that you can be responsible for instead of yourself. So it's like, it takes off responsibility rather than adds on responsibility. And it's much easier to be responsible for somebody else and their actions sometimes than it is ourselves, right? So as long as you know that you're committed to what your accountability buddy is going to create for themselves and the things they said are important to them, you know that you're taken care of as well. So it takes the load off, and it's an opportunity to not only contribute to someone else, but to also, have someone else to take care of rather than yourself. It's also not a new best friend, like I said, not someone who'll let you make excuses and say, you're cool, just go eat the cake, feel better about it. They are jerks.
That's a mediocrity buddy.
Exactly. There'll be someone who knows what you're committed to and will remind you always. They'll constantly talk to that person who you want to be. And I'm going to give you a little worksheet process on how to run your first call with your accountability buddy. It's not a must, but it's an optional strategy from me. If you guys want to make it easier on yourself, you can meet up, and the first time that you meet up on the phone or video or whatever it is you decide to do, you can use that sheet to kind of go over who we actually are and also learn about each other's excuses, right? Like, this is what I do when I slack off, right? Like, some people tend to disappear and then they want you to call them out on that. And some people tend to make excuses. Whatever it is, you're going to get to know your accountability buddy's behavior, and you're going to be able to be transparent about yours so that they actually keep you accountable and you don't do the things you normally do to get away from the responsibilities that you took on. More information about that in the email, like I said. The second thing is, wow, thanks, Hal, for everything you said about creating affirmations. I'll have that panned out for you guys in the email as well as your exercise for this week. You guys excited for all this stuff?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Yeah. I'm excited too. Yes. And I know they're like, I gotta mute myself and say yes too, because they didn't hear me. That's what I love about iinspire. You guys, you rock. So yeah, so I know what else you guys are excited about, and that's a Q&A. And here's the purpose, first of all. The purpose is to get your questions answered, and also to give you an opportunity to really be absolutely vulnerable. Okay, this is your moment. This is your time. If you're dealing with something, forget about looking good. This is not the place to look good. This is the place to look really ridiculous, really bad, and just be transparent about where you're having, some difficulties or what troubles you're going through. Or if you're curious and want to learn more from Hal, he's here and he's a total badass as he's talking today. So why would we not take advantage of that, right, guys? So the way we're going to run this is this. First of all, under participants, if you're using a computer and using Zoom, under participants, there's a raise hand function. If you do that, it'll be easier for me to call out on you if you want to ask a question. Number 2 possibility is in the chat box. You can add in questions. Just make sure you're being effective about your questions. Please, please ask your questions effectively. Focus on target, on what you actually want to get an answer for, rather than the entire story, just because we want to respect each other's time and get as much feedback as possible on this call. And lastly, if you're on the phone, or if you don't have a way to chat or raise your hand, or you can't raise your physical hand, by the way, which you can do as well if you'd like, it's just going to hurt a little longer. You can hop onto our iinspire Miracle Morning Challenge Facebook group and ask over there. And if your questions don't get answered right here, right now, today, we'll do our best to follow up with them later. All right, guys? So let's start this by, as we do always, just shake it all out. Shake it off. Ready? Woo. Guys. All right. Don't forget to cheer for each other. Let's see who our first cheer here is today.
Yeah.
We've got Christy Watkins. Give it up for Christy Watkins.
Woohoo! Hey, everybody. Hey. Well, this has nothing to do with my question, but I am the Virginia State Chili Champion. So, I have an observation and a question. How you just totally effing rock. Oh, by the way, I'm number 18. You know, the lady that took 18 times to do the morning miracle. So that's me. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I am loving it. What you just said about the I am committed to becoming, that just rocked my world. So that's a game changer for me. So thank you so much for that contribution.
You're welcome.
The question I'm having, I am loving the Morning Miracle, and I'm doing the savers, but not too much the silent one, and getting a lot out of it. And what's also happening is, holy shit, I've been doing this for like an hour and 20 minutes, and what have I really accomplished? And I just read in your book where you did each component for 10 minutes. Do you record that? Because I'm getting I'm making progress, and sometimes I think, oh my God, it's been 90 minutes. What have I freaking done today? So just any feedback on that?
How do you mean, do I record it? You mean, do I record track the time so that it skips every time? Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I use an app. Let me find it. There's actually a couple, but oops. So this app where is my app? Maybe I don't use it. I mean, maybe I haven't used it in a while. But there's this app. I mean, you can use just the timer on your phone, right? You could set a 10-minute egg timer. You could set whatever timer. But I did it for a long time. I don't do it anymore just because it's so routine now. But I did that for probably a year or something when I first started the Miracle Morning, where I would set the timer, and it can be just a timer on your phone. The difference is there's an app called Miracle Routine. I should remember that. I think they kind of might have stolen a little bit of the name of Miracle Morning, but it's called Miracle Routine. And you can set it up where you type in each of the savers, and you just type in how long, and then you literally hit play at the beginning, and it goes through in whatever order you've got it all set in, and it's this, so each day it's all, you don't have to set it up. You can have, and you can have different routines. You could have like my evening routine, you could have morning routine, you could have Miracle Morning, whatever. And you can even have different variations. Like maybe there's one version of the savers when you wake up tired and it starts with exercise, but there's another version that's your normal version. It starts with silence or whatever. But so you hit start, and then it goes, and at 10 minutes, it beeps, time to change, and then you go to your next activity, and then whatever you have that set for. So it automatically takes you through the whole routine versus having to set your timer over each time, which, not a big deal to do that. But if you want just a really seamless way to do it, Miracle Routine is a great app for that. It
probably forces you to be more concise in each one of those component areas, I would think.
It does, and the way that I used to always do it is I had a timer that went off halfway through. So, like it would go off, you're halfway through, and then I went, just making sure that I was focused and paying attention. And very often the first half was distracted and the second half was more focused, because I was now aware.
Thank you so much.
A tip in general, I do that all the time. If I'm just working throughout the day, I actually will set my 10-minute timer. I'll just have it on, and that way, because we get so distracted, at least I do, many of us do, every 10 minutes, it's like it's like having a coach or a trainer that's like tapping you on the shoulder going, hey, are you doing the thing you're supposed to be doing? And like 7 out of 10 times you're like, oh no, shit, I'm on Facebook. How did that happen? Right? Like I got Facebook vortex. And so that 10-minute timer, it just goes off. And then every time it goes off, I hit start again. I just keep starting it. So I'll work in like a 3-hour block, and every 10 minutes, it's just making sure that I'm on track. And it gives me something where I quickly will go, what can I get done in the next 10 minutes? I'm going to try to get this piece that I'm doing done. I'm going to try to answer these 6 emails, or I'm going to try to do whatever. And sometimes I effectively get it done. And sometimes I'm like, shoot, I guess I needed more than 10 minutes, but let's try to get it done now in the next 10 minutes, So that's something that I use for the Miracle Morning, but I use it to keep me productive all day long.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for the question, Christy. Good to meet you.
Yes, awesome, Christy. I know some of you guys also started using the Seconds app. That one works as well. But I'll check out that one. I actually didn't know about it, Hal, so thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, cool. I'll include that in the email as well. Next up is Andrea. Let's give it up for Andrea, you guys.
Woo!
Andrea.
Okay, I have to say, thank you very much for basically giving me a good kick in the butt, Hal.
Yes, you're welcome.
This morning, because I've been trying to do the savers, and it's
it's like the schedule of I have to get it done before I start to work, and I'm trying to throw in maybe too much. I'm trying to work in a morning exercise too. So I wasn't doing just 10 minutes. I was trying to do more on the exercise. But anyway, I guess that's a good excuse, right?
Yeah, well, and for me, I don't want to cut you off, but I mean, I do, like, for me, I'll do 5 minutes of 4 of the savers, 5 minutes each, and then 20 minutes of 2 of them. So 20 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of exercise, and then 5 minutes of each of the others.
Okay, that would be good. That would help a lot. It's like I suddenly realized that I actually can do more in life, and so I'm pursuing a couple of things for YouTube, something I never thought I could do. And so it seems like this all happened at the same time. And like any other time, I'd say, well, I'm going to get up at 4:30 and do everything. I normally can do it. But
sure.
It's been crazy the last 10 days.
Good.
Good. Crazy in a good way. So is there any other questions on that, or do you feel like that will help?
No, I think that helped. I think that helped. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, you're welcome. You're definitely welcome. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, thank you for the question, and let's congratulate her too, you guys. So freaking awesome. Let's give it up for Andrea. Woo, Andrea!
Andrea.
Well, good luck with that. We're here to support you. Tell us how we can and what we can do to support you. Next up is, first of all, let's catch a little chat question here. So there's a question for Hal. First of all, a quick one from Bradley Logan about what the dates are for your event in Chicago, in case anybody here in Chicago wants to hop by and join us. I'll be there. I'll be there.
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked that. I was thinking I should be promoting my event more because we have a few spots left, and it's like 2 weeks away. This is the first ever, I'll just say, take a minute or two here, the first ever Miracle Morning event, period. Like, we've never had a Miracle Morning event. The event that we've done the last 2 years, and our third year we do it this fall, is called Best Year Ever Blueprint. But a Miracle Morning specific event, this is the first ever, and it's going to be incredible. Yahli will be there, which, what more of a reason do you need to go than, you can hang out with Yahli and me as well. It's in Chicago, June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. You can sign up for it at miraclemorning.com/events. So miraclemorning.com/events. And if you go there, watch the video from our Best Year Ever event. We don't have a video for the Miracle Morning event because we've never had one. But if you watch for the Miracle Morning event or the Best Year Ever event, you'll get an idea of, like, the way we do events is very different from any event I've ever been to. It's extraordinarily experiential. It's not just talking heads at the front of the room and you're just taking notes the whole time. Like, there's no one on stage. Like, 80% of the event, you're engaged with the other audience members, and you're in circles and you're in groups, and it's just really high energy. We've got music the whole time. It's like a Yahli. If you did an event, like, this is the event you would do. You're going to love it. You're going to be right at home. But and it's the lowest price event we've ever done. It's only $347 because we're like, full transparency, we might lose money on this event. It was the whole design of the event was not to be big, but it wasn't designed to be like, hey, let's put on an event, make a big profit. It was, let's put on an event where we bring our community together and co-create the future of the Miracle Morning movement. So I'm going to warn you, you're going to be asked to actually do a little bit of contribution there, where the first half of each day we're pouring into you and bringing in world-class folks to do the savers with you and take your Miracle Morning to another level. The second half of each day, we're getting together and co-creating the future of the Miracle Morning movement and how we're going to literally elevate the consciousness of humanity one Miracle Morning at a time. It's going to be unlike any event that's ever been done. Really, really cool. And there's I don't know. There are a few spots left, so you can definitely sign up. It's miraclemorning.com/events, and I would love to meet everybody in person, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In Chicago.
I love how you guys are already cheering without the music or anything, without me telling you guys.
Yeah, that rocks.
So yeah, come to Chicago, definitely, and I'll talk that, okay? Not only is it an incredible event, not only is it worth going to, not only am I going to be there too.
Yay!
But I'm also going to do a little mastermind get-together for iinspire in Chicago area. that I'll just meet up for a quick mastermind the day before, okay? So all the details will be on iinspire today or tomorrow. All right, guys?
Cool.
Yay. Awesome. Woo! That's very exciting. This is very exciting.
So we're going to have some fun there, and in general, the iinspire World Tour 2016 is beginning. So you'll get more information about where else we'll be headed this year, the rest of this year. All right, guys. So next up is Grace. Grace, you wrote the question down there, but you're also raising your hand, so let's let you say it live, right?
Okay. Well, actually, I have two questions, which kind of go with the first question.
Yeah.
And thank you, Hal. I shared the YouTube video with my son the other night. He was having a major anxiety attack, and I made him watch your 1 hour and 22-minute YouTube video, and it absolutely made a huge difference for him. So,
wow.
So glad that it's on YouTube. I mean, I cannot tell you, he was in the shower, he was trembling, he couldn't breathe. I got him to breathe and slow down. I said, I don't want you to do anything but watch this video. And he gets very anxious and very stressed out, and he's ready to do the challenge. I'm going to hold him accountable. And
wow, that's amazing. Wow. That's so amazing. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. You're a great mom.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Miracle Morning Challenge is changing my life dramatically. A couple of things. When I do my morning walk, which I used to do a long time ago, I say my affirmations while I'm walking, and I pray while I'm walking. So I'm combining a couple of the savers all in one event. I'm hoping that's okay. And then my next question was, is the same time every morning as important? Like, I've been setting my alarm at 5:50 to get up, and that's my goal. But today is really like my Saturday or my Sunday because I work on the weekends. And so I just love to get 7-8 hours sleep, relax, sleep in. And so I got up at 6:30 instead of 5:50, but I did my full saver routine. So just wondered if that's an okay strategy, or do you recommend to really just get that habit ingrained of the same time every morning?
Yeah, great question. And no, I think that's fine. I mean, yes, I think that's fine. That's great. There's not much I believe that is all or nothing in life. Like, for example, I'm mostly vegan, but I'm not totally. Like, I believe, I don't believe that you have to do things 100%, you know? I'm like, hey, I don't drink a lot. Like, I'm like, but I'll have a beer, you know? Like, but it's not like, but for a long time, I was like, I have no alcohol and I have no meat or dairy, and and I was like, wait, well, why? It doesn't have to be like that, you know? So same thing with waking up on time. Now, there's definitely value in consistency, and there's value even in your body clock, right? And like waking up at the same time each day more often than not. But especially if the weekends you want to take a couple days off, great. You know, I will tell you that for me and for most people that whenever somebody asks in the Miracle Morning community, which by the way, if you're not in the Miracle Morning community Facebook group, come join. We have 47,000 people now from probably over 50 countries, I think. It's pretty inspiring, really engaged group, very in line with iinspire. But when people ask in there, hey, do you guys do your Miracle Morning on weekends too? Like, I just started and I'm wondering if I should do on the weekend. It's almost always the same answer, which is everyone says they originally started with no weekends. Then they got to the point where they would sleep in on a Saturday and they would wake up an hour or two later than they normally would for their Miracle Morning. And they would, instead of feeling like, how nice, they'd go, well, I just missed out on the most valuable part of my day. Like, how is that a reward? You know, I don't get it. And so most of them went from 5 days a week, then to 6 days a week, and then many of them, to 7 days a week. And Oprah Winfrey said this. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, I love waking up early on a Saturday morning and doing my work because it doesn't come with the time pressures that come during the weekdays. And I feel the same way. My favorite Miracle Morning is on Saturday and Sunday because I don't have to do it. And I don't have anything else to do. Like, I just wake up, do a Miracle Morning, then my kids come down and I invite them to join me. And it's just this much more relaxed feeling because, like Oprah said, doesn't have those time pressures of like, oh, work starts at this time. But it's to each their own. If you want to take the weekends off, totally fine. Or one weekend day off or whatever.
No, I don't see myself taking the time off, but I did sleep until 6:30 instead of 5:50.
And that's fine.
combining the savers is okay, like saying my affirmations while I'm walking and doing my prayer time while I'm walking. And sometimes I turn off my iPod and meditate in silence while I'm walking. And I kind of get all four of those because I want to walk for 20, 40 minutes. So that works, right?
100%. In fact, I think it's ideal. It's ideal for a few reasons. Number one is I believe in efficiency. I'm really big on not wasting time, that I don't have to waste. So if you're being efficient, I try to be as efficient as I can. But there's also a mind-body connection where, right, when you're doing an affirmation while you're physically moving and you're getting more oxygen in your brain, that you're actually making a physical imprint in a way that you wouldn't if you were just sitting there with low energy doing them at home in the living room, So yeah, there's actually advantages to that. So 100%. Yeah, I think I endorse and think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and how something really powerful happened this morning, and I'll let somebody else have a question. But when I was doing that this morning, God literally spoke to my heart. And so I went back in and immediately journaled what he showed me, which got my scribing. And I'd never had that experience. I mean, I get some ideas when I'm walking, but it was very, very clear what he said to me. And so I went in and I was immediately able to journal that. So I just want to share that. But
that's beautiful. And quick question / tip. Have you read the book Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh?
No. You recommend it? Highly
recommended. I haven't read it in a lot of years, but I mean, it's the best book I've ever read for many, many years. And now, I always say I haven't read it in so many years that if I went back, maybe it would not be the best book anymore. But either way, highly recommend it. And he's got an entire, and it's sold, the whole series. Book 1, start with book 1. It's so good that I didn't want to read any of the other books. Like, when something's so perfect, I'm like, I don't need anything else. And then a friend goes, have you read book 2? And I go, no, I never felt the need. And he goes, you're crazy. Did you love book 1? I said, yes. He goes, book 2's just as good. It's the continuation. And I was like, and I read it and it was just as good. So, but yeah, start with Conversations with God, book 1, and go from there.
That's awesome. And that was an attraction because in my head, I said, I don't want to forget to ask him what some of his favorite books are. So you just put that out there for me.
Yeah. I actually need to reread it. I haven't read it in so long. You're reminding me. I'm going to find it and I'm going to reread it. So yeah.
Who's it by?
Neil Donald Walsh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's on my wish list. So thank you for reminding me as well.
Yeah.
So all you guys who are done with the Miracle Morning, we can put that on your reading list. Let's not forget to thank both God and Grace for her incredible question. Make some noise!
Yay!
Sign up.
And let's be even more effective so we can end on time here. For integrity purposes, if we go over time by like 2-3 minutes, if you guys got to go, I love you, thank you, and hop on our iinspire Morning Call Facebook group and what you thought, or if you have any other feedback, then let us know. And also, we will update you by email, so don't forget to check it out later today. All right, next up quickly is, where did Amy disappear? Did you unraise your hand?
No, I'm right here.
Yeah, okay. There she is. It's Amy, you guys. Hey, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Are you gonna be my girl? I just want to say that this has been truly life-changing already. And I have a couple questions. First of all, I want to know, I'm excited. I live in Chicago, so I am coming to your event. I'm
awesome.
Getting 2 things off my calendar. I just found out about it like a week ago, actually. So I'm so excited. And just rearranging. You posted something about coaches, and I am a coach and a trainer and a speaker, and I am curious about that. But the other thing is I just want to share why I think this is so perfect. First of all, it's been great starting this challenge in summer because the sun comes up a lot earlier. So with the sun and my cats waking me up, it's been pretty effortless actually to get up at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
Shocked. So thank you as far as that goes. It's also really perfect timing because my 54-year-old husband has been diagnosed with a progressive brain disease. And I am actually kind of shocked at how I'm handling this. And really want to know some tips as far as I have passed the book to him. I am using every coaching skill I have to keep him positive, to do certain actions and steps. And I just know how effective it's been for me. And I just wondered if there was anything that I could do. I believe in influencing others, and it's one of my strong suits. So I'm doing everything, but I sure would love your fabulous brain and ideas on thoughts for that, because not only am I giving these tools and digging in really strong for myself, but I want to do it for him. I need to do it for him. There's a sense of urgency with this.
Sure.
But I'm trying to have a very intentional, calm sense of urgency. And so thank you again.
Yeah. You're welcome. Now, are you, and just to be clear, are you asking me for tips? Like, is it he hasn't read the book yet? You're having a challenge getting him to read it?
I actually handed it to him one morning and said, please read a chapter. And Saturday I got up and did Tony Robbins priming with him. So I was able to get him to do that and move around and move his physiology. I'm doing it in little pieces. I just know it feels like right now for my life, almost raising my standards to like an incredible level has been in not letting myself sleep in and not letting myself step back. It's been really powerful because this is a time where I need to raise my standards. And maybe it's just me that I'm feeling that, but I'm wondering what I can do for him. Maybe that is just me. Maybe he doesn't need to do that, but I really do need to help him stay in a great state, stay in a positive mode. And these steps have been great. So I guess I'm just kind of wondering, how do you help somebody influence somebody else when they're kind of stuck in their own head right now?
Sure. And, and it is easier said than done, you know. I'll tell you, I just committed to write the Miracle Morning for couples. And I think we're actually going to call it the Miracle Morning for transforming your relationship. The expert that I am following, or that I've partnered with, who's a big Miracle Morning fan, she doesn't do couple work. She says that couple work doesn't work. You know, you trying to get your spouse to do something because you are doing it right, it usually doesn't work, and it usually creates actually resistance, right? And so she talks about how it's all about the individual, that it only takes one person to transform a relationship. And she talks about, I'm not an expert, so I'm going to sum this up and then try to give you at least a strategy to approach toward him. But in general, she says, you be the change you wish to see in the world type of thing, right? That you've just got to show up, and that you can't make somebody want to do something that they don't want to do, right? But I, on the other hand, my background's in sales and influence, so I do believe that, somebody might not know what they want to do, and then if you present it in a way, they go, wow, I never thought of that. So to me, there's truth to both of those. One thing that may be effective is getting him to watch that video that the gal earlier, I think it was Sandy, got her son to watch, and said it totally changed her son's life. And I think it might be the one. I know there's one video of me giving the Miracle Morning speech that has like 100 and something thousand views. That's probably it. But it's often easier to get someone to watch, and Chris just commented, I think. But it's often easier to get somebody to watch a video than it is to read a book, right? And I'll tell you, one of my former coaching clients, she wanted to get her husband was at like 30 was diagnosed with heart disease. He ate horribly, right? And I had been telling her, have him read this book, have him do this, have him do that, and he wouldn't do it. And I finally said, do you think he'd watch a DVD if you put it in? Like if you said, please, sweetheart, just watch this movie with me with an open mind. And she's like, yeah, he likes to watch TV more than he likes to read, so he'd probably watch it with me. And she puts in the video I recommended is called Eating. It's the DVD. If you go to Amazon, type in Eating DVD, and it's one of the guys that made Forks Over Knives made Eating. So long story short, we get on a call a week later, and she says that she's in tears. And she said the video started, and he goes, yeah, I'll watch it. Fine, put it in, right? And just really reluctant. And by the end of it, he looks at her and he goes, we need to go to the grocery store, and we need to make some serious changes in our diet, right? And she's like, Hal, I just started crying, so that's why we're making on a side note, the Miracle Morning movie, we're making a documentary for this exact reason, because there's millions of people that just, they won't read a book. They don't read self-help, but you could pop in a video and they'll sit through it for 90 minutes, right? So that's what I would probably do, is see if you could, get him to watch a video that could influence him, and then maybe he'll read the book, or maybe that video would be enough for him to do it. And also try to do it in a very, very invitational, open space. Hey, sweetheart, I don't want you to do this for me or to feel like you have to do, and obviously it's easier to said than done, but I would just go in this really loving, I would meditate on it beforehand, this really loving, inviting, open space. Hey, sweetheart, would you be open to watching this with me? And no expectations, no pressure. I love you either way, and he might say no the first 7 times, right? I mean, you just, keep the invitations coming. Okay, I'm just going to keep inviting you until maybe there's a time that's right, and this, right? And then all of a sudden you do that enough and he starts to relate differently to your request as not a push, but an opening, right? An open space. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I'm so grateful you're coming. Yeah, and I will pre-approve your application. I don't know if you've signed up for the event yet, but when you sign up, it has you submit an application because we do an application process for this particular event. You are pre-approved.
Thank you.
But you still need to fill out the application, but you're pre-approved.
No problem.
I did it too.
Yes, yeah. Even Yahli had to fill it out the application.
Yeah, but I'll talk to Hal and I'll make sure that he approves.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
I want to know about the coaching.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it at the event. I mean, honestly, I don't know what it's going to look like. This whole event is co-creation. So it's not like, here's what we're doing. It's like, hey, what do you guys think we should do? Let's talk about it. So
cool. Thanks.
Cool.
My pleasure.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Grace and acknowledge her for being who she is in her life and her relationship. I love you. That's awesome. Let's give it up for Grace.
Yay, thank you, Grace.
Great.
I'm just following your progress, Grace. Amy, and you're posting everywhere and you're sharing what you're going through. And it's just, there's so much there to learn from about how to handle, the challenges in life. And you're handling it like you should, and we're here to support you. And it's okay if you have down days or anything like that. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. We're here for you for those moments as well. So I want to make that clear. Right, guys? Standing ovation So yeah, I'm going to sum it up with that. I know, let's give a 1-minute version to Rakesh's question, because we've spoken about this in different ways and shapes and forms. And Ratish, you can also look up the 6-minute miracle morning. But generally what he's asking is do you have tweaks or recommended changes to make to the miracle morning if you're stressed on time? Is that right, Ratish? Is that pretty much the question you're asking?
Yeah, when you have like so much stress, you think about skipping it altogether because you're like, I don't have time. What do you do? So you do something.
Yeah, no, there's a chapter in the book called The 6-Minute Miracle Morning, and it's exactly that reason I created it when I was doing my own miracle morning long before there was a book. And when I went, same thing. It's like, it was this all or nothing mentality. Like, I don't have a half an hour. I don't have an hour. So I'm not going to do it. And then one day I went, wait, what if I did 1 minute, really present, really focused, really, intentional for each of the savers? And so I did silence for a minute, and I just closed my eyes and I breathed and, said a little prayer. And it was like, wow, I feel much more grounded than I felt 60 seconds ago. It's only a minute, but then I pulled out my affirmations, and it really only took me a minute to read through my affirmations anyway, right? I read through them. It reminded me of what I wanted, what I was committed to doing, when I was going to do it. Then I closed then I did those minute of jumping jacks, right? With the smile and now laughter. So that's it. So 6 minutes. So do the 6-minute miracle morning and just really be committed to, and set your timer for 60 seconds each and go through. And the more often that you do the 6-minute miracle morning, the better you'll get at it. That you'll be able to go deeper faster, and you'll actually get more value, and you'll go, wow. And then some people, I think it's a small percentage of people that do the 6-minute miracle morning as like a daily practice. Most people do the 30-minute version or the 60-minute version, and then they keep the 6-minute version on reserve for when they don't have, they feel stressed or rushed, don't have a lot of time, but they go, I can be present and focused for 6 minutes because of the value that I'll get from that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love how you're mysteriously shadowed. Like, you can see your whole house except for you. But there's an actual man there, I promise. And he's cool. So, Ratish, thank you for your question. And I just want to say also, add my own tip to you guys, okay? First of all, if you guys are looking for an effective way to stay accountable, do the Miracle Morning and you know, get inspired and empowered, hop on the iinspire morning call. For God's sakes, we do stretches, we do silence meditation, right, guys? That's your moment. You listen to something empowering, which is a talk every single day. You could do your scribing while you're listening and write down your takeaways from the call. You can post that on our Facebook group afterwards, so even share and contribute. And you know, just integrate that into your day if you can. That's awesome. It's a great way to really stay accountable, stay effective. And I see a lot of you guys as a part of this challenge also hopping onto the calls and doing it consistently. So I want to acknowledge you for that. I love seeing you guys and share more and be more present, be more active, because that's really what I encourage you guys to do. And another thing is too, I don't usually do the 6-minute Miracle Morning, but I have versions where like I combine things together. So I'll say my affirmations in the shower. Like I'm not going to shower, so I might as well use up that time to do that. And when I do my makeup, a lot of times I'll listen to a book if I don't have the time to sit down and read it, and you know, and that's okay. And I'll do my scribing while I'm about to write something else anyway. I just pull out a piece of paper, or like I told you, I even had the post-it version when I didn't have time to journal. So those are awesome ways to kind of make it fast as well. If Hal Elrod accepts, you're the Miracle Morning guy. You have to say if that's okay.
Yes, approved.
Approved. Okay. I was worried for a second. All right, guys. So let's give it up for Ratish Pillai for the question. It's overtime, and thank you so much, Hal Elrod, for coming on.
Yes, Hal, thank you very much. What a pleasure.
Thank you for showing up. And I hope to see as many of you as possible in Chicago on June 21st. It would be amazing. So
yes, and if you can't make it, don't worry.
Don't worry.
But make
we'll
it
see each other. Yeah.
Thank you.
In December, Best Year Ever Blueprint, the December event. That gives you plenty of time to plan for.
There you go.
Yeah. Love it.
We'll have Hal reminding us about that as well. So thank you so much, Hal, for your time. Thank you, each and every one of you, for setting some time away from all the important things you have to do this morning and being committed to this. Be so committed that you're going to check out your accountability buddies, say hello to them, and make sure you schedule a meeting with them. Follow up with your emails. We're going to have some great create this week. I love you guys. Thank you. And don't ever, ever, ever leave here without celebrating. Air guitar, air guitar. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.